Hello everyone. Tonight I'd like to discuss the flooding that continues along the New Madrid as it makes its path down to Louisiana, and they are bracing for it. This is a picture straight off of an article on the internet, and what it is, it's a levee on the Yazoo River. Okay, this is north of Vicksburg, Mississippi, but still you can see that's a lot of water, and it's getting quite terrible, and we're gonna talk about that. What I'm going to show you now is pictures direct from a friend of mine here on YouTube, and I hope everything's going to be okay for you and that you are safe. But this was taken, and we're going to compare two of them. Alright, this has been marked. This is where the level of the Mississippi should be, way out there past the pole, you know, past out here where the trees and everything are at. It should be way out there. And these were sent to me so we could talk about this and how severe it really is, and it may not be getting, it's not getting true deserved red alert media coverage like we should have, and that's why we have to talk here. So we see where it should be, and we actually see where it is. It was prior picture marked out there. So you can see pretty much the green line comes out here up to this pole in the tree. That's here. That is way far in, and that's what is coming. So we're going to go back to this article, and maybe you knew, and maybe you didn't hear the latest, but you're going to hear what these guys are putting out there for you to believe or not believe. Now, the Corps of Engineers says in this article that they're going to open a key spillway along the Mississippi probably tomorrow. So let's peg it for tomorrow. I believe it'll happen tomorrow because I heard Saturday way early in the week, and this article was just not long ago, less than about 2 hours ago right now. So they are going to open another spillway, and they say 25,000 people and 11,000 structures could be in harm's way when the gates on the Morganza spillway are unlocked, the first time in 38 years. So they're going to do it, and they're saying to alleviate the water from Baton Rouge and New Orleans, divert it away from there and save them, divert it over here and flood these people. So that's what they are saying. Going into the article a little bit more, it says it will release a torrent that could submerge about 3,000 square miles. That's big. But take the pressure off the levees protecting New Orleans, Baton Rouge, and the oil refineries and chemical plants. Engineers feared that weeks of pressure could cause levees to fail, swamping New Orleans in a disaster that could be much worse than Hurricane Katrina. Instead, the water will flow 20 miles south into the Atchafalaya River. From there, it'll roll into the Gulf of Mexico, flooding swamps, croplands. Morgan City, an oil and seafood hub, and a community of 12,000 shored up levees as a precaution. Well, I'm not for sure if this is the one that Edgar Casey talked about, but we do in this article see that they put it in black and white. From there it will roll on to the Gulf of Mexico. So anyway, Casey's one of his predictions was that the Mississippi would drain out into the Gulf of Mexico. But I believe this is just a precursor to the biggie. But anyway, you have what I showed you that they said here. It says it's going to open the gates when the river's flow rate reaches 1.5 million cubic feet per second, and then predicted to keep rising. And then we go into Saturday, which is expected sometime Saturday. I would tell people, and I hope you already have, to make preparations, because it's going to get damp, and it looks like it's going to get deep, pretty deep. I hope it doesn't, but they have the power to flood other places. When things don't fail, they can open other areas up and put the water in there. They already have, and there's a lot of rich farmland that has been destroyed during these other floodings that we're told it will alleviate. Larger, more valuable areas, more populated, and of course they mentioned a oil refinery and everything they wanted to prevent. And this is just a chart that shows what states grew what type of a crop, and percentage wise planted by the million acres. So when you think of farmland being flooded, you can kind of get an idea of how much each state lost of what they grew. So there was quite a bit of loss there. We had some warning, and there were some people that believed they were going to flood it and they needed to leave, and then there were some people that didn't believe it. I think they finally came around, but they're quite upset that their area, they were told, is going to be wiped out purposely, and that they need to leave. FEMA seems to have, whether it turns out to be an earthquake during the 16th to the 20th, 16th being Monday, they do have the flood. And that's something kind of ironic, that it's still it was so large in the beginning that there was no way it was going to be gone by the beginning of this event. So we have massive flooding and everything ready for the same area that they described in their 16th through the 20th earthquake activity event. So everyone in all these areas, and it's a big area, you're already if you're in the affected area, you're already feeling it, because you're in a crisis situation. It's not an earthquake now, it's a flood. Everybody else outside of that area, they know what's going on, but they're not directly affected by it yet, so they don't truly feel exactly the same thing. But you just need to be on really aware situation, alert, so to speak, because anything could happen. You are on that fault line, and it is wet, and underneath of it is getting absorbed water into the ground, and everything is super mushy there, and that water carries a tremendous amount of weight by volume added to what it already was. So that's probably putting more stress upon that fault, even without an earthquake. So we got to pray that somehow nothing happens while all that water is there. It's going to take quite some time, if nothing else happens, for the situation to go down and to get some type of sense of normality again in people's lives, if we can make it through this point here and get past this flooding. So, to my friend in Louisiana, I hope everything goes okay for you and everyone in Louisiana. Anyone in the flooding areas, I hope you're all safe. But I wanted to put these pictures out there because they are real, and they were sent to me to show everyone here what a real picture by one of us looks like standing in that direct area, as opposed to what I already showed you in the spillway opening article, which this is it was surely a good picture of all that Mississippi water. But we have lost so much during this flooding already. Homes. I'm sure there's going to be some death somehow, somewhere. The sadness of being chosen to have your area flooded and know that everything that you have is wet is not something that you could easily absorb. And I feel for everyone that has lost and will lose and is scared and doesn't understand why it's going on really, and if you do, you're upset about it and you're mad. That's understandable. But please try to don't lose faith and try to have hope and try to be safe even in this kind of a situation, because you really don't know how much worse it's going to get, if it does, and it just might. That's a god-awful lot of water. So please, everyone, if you know someone in the area that's been affected by it, help them out any way you can. And if you're not in the affected area to help anyone, please pray for this next week for sure, and tomorrow when they open it up and release some more water, because now's the time. It's worked its way all the way down and they're finishing it out tomorrow. They're starting the finishing touch on flooding it out into the Gulf tomorrow. So please pray for all these people as well as the rest of us. My time is getting ready to run out, so I'm going to have to close for now. Please pray for all these people. They need it, and the more people that can pray for them, maybe the safer that they can be. I'll talk to y'all later. God bless you.